Everybody, welcome to episode 2 of Coffee and Culture. I'm Kevin. Thanks for tuning in and welcome back. So this week we're going to talk about what I feel like is the best distillation of core tenets that can be put in place to develop a culture that I've ever really read. And it's written by an individual by the name of Daniel Coyle, and it's in a book called The Culture Code. And in that book, he studies highly successful organizations around the world, and he really looks and finds that there's 3 key tenets that all of them have in common. Today, we're going to talk about what those are really quickly, and then in subsequent videos, we're going to break those down, and I'm going to show you how we're putting in place mechanisms within Verity that back those things up. So let's get into those 3 core key tenets. The first one is safe zones. And maybe you've heard this before. It's been, the phrase emotional safety, emotional safe zones is thrown around a lot. But really, it's basically, putting everybody in a position where, hey, we're all in this together. We've got each other's backs. You can, question the things that you're asked to do. You can, responsibly question your management and decisions that are made. You can challenge each other professionally. You can take risks and you can make mistakes, but we've still got your back as an organization and as a team. The second one is interesting to me because it's called shared vulnerability. And that breaks down the concept that leaders are infallible and they need to represent infallibility. We've probably all worked with a manager before that maybe doesn't want to show you their warts. Somehow they think that if they appear anything less than perfect, that undermines their authority somehow. But in reality, to build that trust with a team, leaders need to develop what's called shared vulnerability, where they showcase to their team, hey, I make mistakes, you make mistakes, we're all going to make mistakes together, but we've got each other's backs. We're going to learn from those mistakes and we're going to grow from those mistakes. So we've got creation of a safe zone and we've got shared vulnerability. The third is very important and I think often done poorly. Establishment and reinforcement of purpose. Making sure people understand why they're doing things and what they're doing those things for. Not only demonstrating that, but then reinforcing it consistently. I don't know about you guys, but I've been in business and organizations before where you feel like your work, you're what off, and at the end you're like, it doesn't feel like anything's changed, right? I mean, we're still in the same position. I liken it to everybody getting in a rowboat and everybody gets an oar and we just start going, right? We're paddling. And at the end of the day, we're tired. We're like, wow, we can buff from rowing all day. But then you look around and you're like, we didn't go. We didn't go anywhere, right? Because everybody was rowing in different directions. Rowing in different directions. So the big thing there is establishment and reinforcement of that direction, so everybody understands what they're doing and why they're doing it. So creation of a safe zone, shared vulnerability, establishment and reinforcement of purpose. Next week, we're going to get into creation of safe zone. I'm going to talk to you about a little more detail about what the book goes into and how we're putting some of those mechanisms in place in Verity. So see you next week. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.